Hello and welcome to EastMojo, my report, where we bring you all the latest happenings and development from the east and northeast of India. This is Tripura correspondent Chandan Pandey, and today I will be your host. Before we start giving you the COVID updates, let me just inform you we are also joined by our other northeast state correspondents. We have Sally joining us from Manipur. We have Madolina joining us from Nagaland. So first, I'll go to Meadow and get the COVID updates for today. Meadow, what do you have got for today?
Thank you, Chandan. As usual, I'm going to start off with the new COVID cases that have been detected here. And today we've seen a huge spike in the number of cases, a total of 261 new cases that have been reported here. And, the health minister, Espang Newpom, has taken to Twitter to inform about the new cases that have been detected. And out of, this 261 total new cases that have been detected today, were reported out of 741 samples that were tested. And among them, as per the distribution of the district wise, we have 197 of the total cases from Dimapur alone, and
Right.
59 cases are from Kohima, and 5 cases are from Mokokchung. So we're yet to get the updates as to the segregation of the sector-wise distribution of this cases. But the health minister has informed that necessary contact tracing has been activated. Also, with the addition of these new cases, our state's tally has spiked up to 4,636. That's nearing a 5,000 mark now. And out of this, we have a total of 839 of them that are currently active cases. And the recovered cases is at 3,776, and we have 8 confirmed death cases here in the state. Now, one thing I would like to, I'd like to mention here is that the number of recovered cases continues to surpass the number of active cases. Currently, we have 81.45% of, the recovery rate. We're yet to get the updates as to if there are new recovered cases today. In case there are more COVID-19 patients recover from COVID today, then the recovery rate, which is currently at 81.45, is likely to increase. Also, besides the 8 confirmed deaths of COVID-19, 2 deaths are COVID-19 positive, but not due to COVID-19. And also another 5 deaths are under investigation. And out of this, 15 reported death cases that have been reported here from the state of Nagaland. 14 are from Dimapur and 1 is from Mon. So, Chandan, this is so far the current updates, the current status of COVID-19 here in the state of Nagaland.
Right. Thank you, Madam, for that update. I'll come to you with a list of questions on COVID-19 development in your state. So before I question Meadow and get updates from her state, now I'll be giving you the COVID-19 updates from the state of Arunachal since Iran is not joining us for the day. Arunachal Pradesh has so far reported a total of 5,545 COVID-19 confirmed cases. This includes a total of 1,630 active cases, while the number of recovered cases in the state now stands at 3,906. The number of deaths in the state now stands at 9, with one more COVID-19 related deaths in the last 3 days. So this is something coming out from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And now I'll be going to Manipur, where Sally is waiting for us to give us the day's update. So before we get the COVID updates from her for the day, I'll be going to the question to her that she has done a report on the bamboo making. The youth of Manipur, especially in the northeastern state, we have seen they have been engaged in this bamboo articraft, and they've been making a lot of things from this bamboo things. So, what is all about, and how Manipur and the story that she has done to shower some light on it? Tell.
Well, thank you so much, Janton. Yes, amazingly, a lot of youngsters, from the state have, rather than depending on the government job, they are trying to use the locally available resources, and they're trying to make a career out of it. The latest being the story which I did yesterday was also the same thing, where a young man, in fact, it's an artisan, a young artisan who's making a product out of bamboo. He's, in fact, the bamboo bamboo-made tiffin curry was, gone viral on social media last month when one of the NGOs had updated on the social media. So that was a story which I did yesterday, and today also amazingly there is another story which came out on social media, which immediately I contacted the young man, and then that's how he told me the story. So his name is Mr. Kong Sam Romesh Singh. He's a 26-year-old from Imphal West District, and for the last 2 years he has been doing a lot of products out of bamboo. But what is more attracting today is from this specific bamboo materials, which is widely found in Manipur, he has made, in fact, a mobile phone tripod, a mobile phone stand. And amazingly, how he came up with this idea was, when he's also, in fact, a YouTuber. That's what he told me. So initially, whenever he takes videos from his phone, he gets um, it's uncomfortable for him, just handling from his phone. So he needs a kind of a monopod or a tripod. So he decided to purchase a tripod online, and unfortunately, because of the ongoing lockdown, because of the pandemic lockdown, even though there is available, the product that he wants is available online, there is no delivery system for the last 5 months. So he thought it, okay, maybe that's not the only option. So he went back to the YouTube, and there are lots of DIY videos available on YouTube. So he started browsing, check out the videos of how to make DIY tripod. And initially he got a lot of information, but then he decided in one specific video where he got some concepts and the ideas of making your own tripods. And then since he has been making a lot of products from bamboo, he thought that maybe it's a right way if he used the available materials that he has been using. So yes, that's how he started making. And just last week only, he uploaded the complete the set of a tripod, a mobile phone to tripod on the social media on his Facebook page, which is the Ramesh Handicraft page on social media. And a lot of people started, curious about how he actually got this idea and how, the product has been on stand right now. So yes, it is definitely an amazing story. A lot of youngsters have started getting inspired from each other, and then they're trying to make themselves as a self-reliant, independent person. So yes, instead of me telling the whole story, I request our viewers to please log into EastMojo.com, and the story is live on the website itself. Chandan.
Right. Thank you, Sally, for that update. Just to inform our viewers that in 2017, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi led government in 2017, they amended the Indian Forest Act 1927, and they removed the bamboo from the category of trees and making it a grass, so that the youth of the Northeast and all the states who work with bamboo products, they can engage in it in a larger extent way, because a number of people from the Northeast, if I speak specifically, they are engaged in this art and craft with bamboo made products. So during this amendment, the government helped all this youth to start preparing clusters of bamboo. And recently, if I'm not wrong, yesterday the union minister, he unveiled 22 bamboo clusters that includes 5 from just to read it. Yes, this includes 6 from Maharashtra, 5 from Tripura, 3 in Odisha, 2 in Madhya Pradesh and Nagaland, one each in Assam, Karnataka, Gujarat, and Uttarakhand. So just to ask Sally, since you have mentioned about the way he is preparing all these bamboo made product, is he also getting response from people and other stakeholders how he's been doing this and orders from outside the state?
Well, yes, even though he do not have dedicated outlets, all the products, whatever he has been making for the last 2 years, he is uploading, after taking pictures, is uploading on his Facebook page, which is called as Romesh Craft Idea. This is his Facebook page. So accordingly, because, people knows about his products, people who follows his page are instantly getting interested. So he told me that even though this tripod was made only last week, but he told me that he is getting a lot of orders, especially from the state as well as from the northeast states. So yes, he is making money out of this product.
Right, Sally. So this is a very good, interesting story which Sally has covered, and it will be shortly live on our website. You can read it at www.eastmojo.com. In the Manipur section, you will get the exclusive visuals. She has done a video story as well as web copy will be available on our website. So please keep an eye on eastmojo.com. Now I will be giving you the COVID updates from the state of Assam since um, Simran is not joining us for the day. So Assam has reported so far a total of 1,33,066 confirmed COVID-19 case. This includes a total of 29,163 active cases in the state. This also includes a total of 1,03,504 recovered case. And to inform our viewers that the state has so far reported a total of 396 COVID-19 related deaths. The number of patients who tested positive and later migrated from the state stands at 3. So this is the COVID update from the state of Assam. Now I'll be going back to Meadow and get some more information regarding COVID-19 updates from the state. But before we do that, just to inform our viewers that the northeastern state has been largely affected by this COVID-19 virus, except for the state of Mizoram, which has not reported a single COVID-19 death so far. So now, Meadow, as I was just thinking when you were giving us all the COVID updates, how much prepared is Nagaland? Because the virus is going to be within us for the next maybe 1, 2, or 3 years, or maybe for the lifetime. So how much prepared is the government and the people of the Nagaland state? Madam.
Well, Chandan, with over 4,000 cases now, the stage of preparedness has also been exceeded. We are indeed, we've entered the phase where we're battling the virus on a daily basis because from the first day since the virus was detected here in the state, that was on May 25, there has been a daily spike in the number of cases. There were just 2 days when COVID cases were not being detected here in the state. Besides that, there has been a daily surge. So we see since then the stage of preparedness to now battling the COVID-19. We've seen that the state has received 3 laboratories also. In fact, 2 BSL, one in Dimapur, one in Tuensang, and the BSL 3 in Kohima. So over time, we've seen that from a zero testing capacity, we've seen that the medical infrastructure here in the state has been improved. We're now equipped with 3 biosafety laboratories, 2 level 2 and 1 level 3. So testing capacities have also, from zero to now, the testing capacity has increased. In fact, just recently, during an interaction that we had with the health department, they've said that there were times when the sample backlogs in the state were being reported, but that has been cleared, and they assured us that by the coming week, all backlogs in the state will also be cleared. They've said that all efforts are being made so that samples that are being tested, the results are declared within 24 hours. So in terms of testing, also we see that the testing capacity has been increased, which in fact is also leading to the number of increased cases, and most of the cases, although, are now being from the armed forces and traced contacts. So as since September 1, we have entered a new unlock phase. So with this also, while the state is on their part making sure that testings are being provided to the citizens, since now the lockdown has been eased, the health department, we were also urged, because now more cases are increasing through trace contacts. So just as much as preparedness from the government is concerned, now the concern also lies on the citizens, where we are to follow all the safety precautionary measures that the governments are giving us, updating us from time to time, guidelines being issued from time to time. In fact, so Chandan, I think very briefly that is the scenario here in the state of Nagaland.
Right. But so when we talk about armed forces, there is also a report coming in from the state of Nagaland that there has been an exchange of fire with the army and one person was injured. So could you give us the update on that?
Yes, Chandan. So, according to an update that EastMojo has received from the PRO Defense of Tezpur, this incident that we are talking about happened last night, that is Wednesday night. And according to the updates that we have received, 2 cadres of the NSCNK, NK, they... Hello, Chandan, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please.
I'm so sorry. Okay. So, two cadres of the NSC and K and NK Pakonya group that is were apprehended by the army during a search operation that they had conducted in a village called Baimu village under Zunheboto district. Now, during the search operation, there was an exchange of fire as per the report, and in this, one of the cadre, that is one of the NSC and cadre, was injured, but the afterwards the patient succumbed to his injuries. Now, the the update, according to the update that we've also received, this the army claimed that one 9 mm pistol, 4 5 cartridge cases, and 23 live rounds were recovered from the search operation, and the two local people were also picked up from the encounter spot. That's what we were informed, but they also gave an update that later they were released to their parents in the presence of the police and the Gamburas here. So, so far, this is the update in regard to the incident that happened between the army and the NSC and cadres in Zunheboto last night, Chandan.
Right. Thank you, Madhu, for that update. So now I'll be giving you the updates for the COVID updates from the state of Mizoram. Mizoram, as I was just speaking, that the state has not reported single COVID-19 related death. So the total number of confirmed cases from the state now stands at 1,333. That's the three figures, 333, 1,333. The number of active cases from the state now stands at 583, while the number of recovered cases now stands at 750. The number of patients who tested positive and later were migrated, that figure stands at 2. So this is something coming out from the state of Mizoram, which has exceptionally set an example for all the other states of India by not reporting a single COVID-19 related death. So now moving forward, there's one more report filed in Assam section today, which says that over 500 workers, Assam political leaders switch parties ahead of assembly election. So we know that the assembly elections for the state of Assam is coming. It's forthcoming, and ahead of it, we can see a number of political leaders. This is usual in Indian politics, where we see a number of leaders who are in ruling party, they switch to the opposition, who are in the opposition, they switch to the ruling. So this is what has happened. Nearly 500 people, including BJP lawmaker MLA Dilip Moran, has today joined the opposition Congress, while in presence of the state chief Ripun Bora in Guwahati. So this is a report filed in Assam section, filed by our correspondent Pritisha Bora Thakur. I would request our viewers to go through that copy. Now, moving on, I'll go back to Sally to get one more update which she has filed. Center has extended financial aid to ailing footballer Ramanand. So what is it all about? And if you could just inform us.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much, Shannon, once again. Yes, the center government, in fact, from the sports ministry had announced yesterday that they have already extended financial assistance to one of the footballer, the junior Indian junior footballer, Mr. Ramanandan Ningthaucham, who is not being well for the last 1 month. So he has been undergoing treatment currently at the Shisha Hospital. That's one of the private hospitals here in Imphal. For he has a problem with the blood vision as well as kidney failure problems. So since due to his financial constraint from his family members, and the cost of the treatment is quite expensive, the the sports ministry have already extended the financials of rupees 5 lakhs towards this sports person from Manipur. Well, according to the Union Minister Kiren Rijichu, this specific amount has been extended to the sports persons under the Bandit Din Dayal Upadhyaya National Welfare Fund. This is a welfare fund for the sports persons who have who have in fact represented the country in various platforms. And yes, in fact, he has Mr. Ningthaucham has contributed a lot towards the sports, even in the state as well as the national levels. And according to the report, he has also represented India in various international platforms, including the Under 17 Asian Football Soccer Championship that was played in Guwahati in the year 2017. So yes. Apart from the center government's financial assistance towards the sports persons, in fact, a lot of his friends and the well-wishers have been running a kind of a crowdfunding towards for his treatment. And as per the report so far, even the regarding this crowdfunding, they have already collected somewhere around rupees 4 lakhs for his treatment. And moreover, recently the Chief Minister of Manipur, N. Piran Singh, had also tweeted on his Twitter account that he had spoken with the MS of the medical superintendent of Sisha Hospital to look after this specific person who is in fact one of the promising sports person from the state. So yes, definitely it's a good sign that a recognition towards his contribution to the sports fraternity. The center government has also extended this financial assistance for his medical treatment. Chandan.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you for that. So it's a good news coming in from the state of Manipur, where a footballer who was ailing from his disease, he has finally received some support and assistance from the Ministry of Sports. And a man like Kiran Rijiju has especially come forward for his rescue. So this is indeed a great news coming in. And now, before Sally gives us the COVID update, I'll be giving the COVID updates from the state of Tripura. Tripura has so far reported a total of 17,271 confirmed cases. This includes a total of 7,089 positive active cases, and the number of recovered cases in the state now stands at 9,993. While the number of deaths Tripura has reported so far has increased to 167, with seven more COVID-19 deaths in last 24 hours. The number of patients who migrated from the state remains at 22. So this is the COVID scenario from the state. And now I'll be getting the updates from Sally on COVID-19 for the day. So Sally, what's the overall situation in the state right now?
Yeah, well, let me start with the latest COVID update. We haven't received for the last 24 hours update, but according to yesterday's statement from the COVID Command Control Room issued, so 160 fresh cases were emerged as a new COVID patients yesterday. Out of this, 135 are from the general populations and 25 again from the security personnel. So right now, the total confirmed cases for COVID-19 in Manipur stands at 7,362. Along with the new fresh cases, another 64 more persons who had earlier detected with COVID-19 had been recovered. So the total recovered cases stands at 5,548, and the total recovery rate for this COVID-19 at the moment stands at 75.35%. This is the total recovery rate. So as a whole, right now, 1,774 COVID patients are the new active cases, in which 1,251 are the locals from the general populations and 529 are the security personnel. In fact, the pandemic has already claimed at least 40 lives, including the latest 39-year-old man from Topal district had succumbed to the virus yesterday as he was treated at the Chenims hospital in Imphal. So the new fresh cases that are emerging in a day over the last couple of months is only the trace contacts, those people who do not have a travel history to other states. So, and most of the local transmissions are happening in the Imphal Valley district, especially in Imphal West and Imphal East district. So, as per the health department, they have already initiated. In fact, they have strengthening the surveillance team when it comes to the isolations. For COVID patients, especially the state government have already initiated a home isolation for those who have asymptomatic cases. So yesterday they have already appointed 7 doctors from Imphal West District and another 5 more doctors from Imphal East District in order to initiate this surveillance team. So yes, this is the COVID development that's happening, and since a lot of transmissions are happening inside the Imphal districts, most of the hill districts have already announced a separate SOPs. For example, in Ukhrul district, that's one of the hill districts here in Manipur, where Dangkul a coordination forum for COVID, which is initiated by various apex bodies based in Ukhrul district, have already issued a new SOPs where it says that those people who are staying in Imphal, if they wanted to come in Ukhrul district and Kamchong district, they have to initially the moment they arrive in the district, they need to do a testing accordingly. If their results are shown as negative, they can go according to their destination. However, if they are tested negative, then they have positive, I mean, then they would be sent for either a home isolation or to the quarantine center. And also those people who stays in Ukhrul district and Kanchong district, if they wanted to come down to Imphal for any personal work, while returning, they have to provide the testing result that they are testing negative. So these are the certain measures, apart from the state government, various apex bodies like civil society have been coming up with various measures in order to prevent or to contain the spread of transmissions of COVID-19. So these are the latest development for COVID-19 from Manipur. Chandan.
Yeah, thank you, Sally. So just to add with that, when we talk about COVID-19 sample testing, we have seen that in the state of Tripura, the government has decided that now the private hospitals and the nursing homes will be allowed to test samples, but in return, the person who wants to test his sample, he has to pay an amount which is between 550 to rupees 750, which will be again transferred to NHM National Health Mission, and it will go back to the state government. So the motive behind it was that people, a number of people who are afraid of visiting government hospital to get their samples tested, so now they can test their sample in nursing homes and private hospital, and if required, they can carry that certificate that they have tested negative or positive. So is there any such kind of thing going on in your state?
Yes, we do have such facilities where the private hospitals and private clinics are giving out the service of the testing. Well, that is like individual payments. So yes, that is like it comes somewhere. It depends on the testing, different kind of testing. Either it would be RAT or RT-PCR. So we have facilities which are provided by the private hospitals and the private clinics. For example, in Ukhrul district, they have initiated that instead of paying 2,400 rupees for testing, they have already given a discount so that whoever wanted to test, as in a volunteer wise, it's going to cost them only 750 per head. So it's kind of encouraging to the public that you have to come forward if you have symptoms like COVID-19, you have to come forward and test rather than scared of costing you a lot of money, which is in fact it's 2,400 is a lot of money when it comes to people who do not have that much amount. So yes, this kind of facilities we are available in the state as well.
Right. Thank you, Sally, for that COVID update. So now I'll be giving you the other updates from the state of Tripura. So when we speak about Tripura, a story was done today by me where I have specifically mentioned that two bodies, that is a joint panel comprising of the Mizo Convention and Nagrik Suraksha Manch from Kanchanpur subdivision, they have submitted a memorandum to Kanchanpur subdivision magistrate Chandni Chandran, demanding, rather I would say, opposing the settlement proposed by the state government in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision. They have specifically mentioned that not more than 500 families should be settled permanently in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision. Now, just to give you an in-depth briefing on it in a short way, these Bru displaced people have been living in this state for more than 2 decades now. It's been 23 years that they've been here in Tripura after a clash between communities in Mizoram, back in Mizoram. So they came here in Tripura, and after that, a series of repatriation process was initiated by the state government of Mizoram. Tripura government was also in support of that, and the center also tried to take them back to the Mizoram state, but a number of attempts was done by the government, and they failed to take them back to their own state. In 2020 January, an agreement was signed between the four groups, that is the state of Mizoram, Tripura, center, and the leaders of these Bru displaced people. The agreement had confirmed that those people who have already gone back to Mizoram, they will be staying there in Mizoram, whereas people who are still here, that is around 33,000 people, are still living in makeshifts, that is a refugee camp. They're living in different camps in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision for last 23 years. So an agreement was done which said that they will be given certain facilities, which includes just to go through the agreement, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah had announced 40 into 30 feet area plot to build a house. It also said that rupees 4 lakh would be given to those families as fixed deposit. Financial assistance of rupees 5,000 per month would be given, with free ration for 2 years, that is till 2022 January. And it also said that all those family members who will be there, an amount of rupees 1.5 lakh would be provided to every family as cash money. So this is what the agreement had said. And after signing this agreement, the Tripura government also identified a total of 11 locations, which includes areas from almost all the districts, which includes Sipajla district, Dhalai, Khwai, and North district, where they have been living for last 23 years in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision. So now what the problem has come up is that these two organization, namely Nagrik Suraksha Manch and Mizo Convention of Jampu Hill, they have the saying that since the time they came here in Tripura, a series of clash between the locals, that is Bengali speaking people, and the Mizos who have been living here in Jampu Hill for ages now. They had clash with this refugee brew displaced people, and they don't want all these people to be permanently settled here. So the government of Tripura had a series of meeting with this joint panel, and lastly there was a meeting between this joint panel and the chief secretary in Agartala Civil Secretariat in July. So there was a discussion. They also pointed out some of the mistakes, and they suggested a few more locations where they should have been uh, permanently settled. They also said that not more than 500 families should be settled in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision. But now, as per a report, confirms that the government is planning that since they have been living in Kanchanpur and Panisagar for more than 23 years, a number of people will be allowed to settle down in Kanchanpur and Panisagar subdivision. That is why now these two joint panel committee, they have come up with an memorandum, and they submitted it to Kanchanpur subdivision magistrate to be forwarded to the chief secretary, Mr. Manoj Kumar, and they have demanded that they don't oppose this agreement, but all they want is not more than 500 families to be settled in this two subdivision. So we have to wait for the reaction from the state, and we will try to get all the latest updates happening in this. Just to inform our viewers that we had also done an in-depth story on this brew displaced people, how they have suffered for the last 23 years, what exactly happened, and why they came to Tripura, why they don't want to go back to Mizoram, and why they're settling here in Tripura. You can find that documentary in our documentary section at www.eastmojo.com. Also, you can read an in-depth copy in the in-depth section, where if you just search with brew displaced people, you will get all the stories which has been covered by me from Tripura and from Mizoram. Our correspondent has also filed it. Even our team, EastMojo, has also filed a number of copies on this brew issue. So I would request our viewers to go through those copies to get an in-depth detail about the brew people and their apathy for last 23 years. So this is all coming up from the states of Northeast for the day. Before wrapping up, I would request all our viewers to go through all our stories that we have discussed so far. Just search www.eastmojo.com, and I would also request our viewers to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon at YouTube to get all the latest videos and updates that we keep on posted on our social media platform. We also have a dedicated fact-checking team, and if you come across any news, article, or picture that looks fishy, send it across at editors@eastmojo.com. We'll get you the other side of the story. Before I sign off, I would request our viewers to wear your mask, use sanitizer, and stay at home unless it is not very necessary. This was Chandan Pandey reporting from Agartala. Remember, it's eastmojo.com.